The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Mario Andretti, Rick Mears, Jeff Gordon, Helio Castroneves, big names you think of at the Brickyard that have won multiple times and got to kiss the famous bricks. Today, the Area Pro Series, brought to you by Florida Estate Builders, will take to the famous Rectangle and Speedway to see which one of them will get to sip the milk and add themselves to that very famous list. Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's coverage again of the Area Pro Series, brought to you by Florida Estate Builders here. Again, we're going to have a fun night of action. Going to be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck. And of course, I'll have Hunter Sleppy here to help me out as he has been for, well, basically all of this Xfinity car season. So, Hunter, a lot of different tracks that we have covered here this season, and a very, very unique one here in the form of the Brickyard.
Yeah, not the same 2.5 miles like we saw earlier this season at Daytona. It's more of a flat oval, not too much banking. I don't think there's any on the straightaways, but in the turns, 9 degrees of banking. Only 2 times we've been here for the Pro Series. Back in Season 4, Cameron Hearn was the inaugural winner here in Indianapolis. And then the last time we were here back in Season 5, it was Connor Euroshak who took the lead late in the going with 3 laps to go. Those were only 3 laps he led. So the first time we were here, Hearn dominated, led 48 of 80. This previous time in Season 5, Euroshak led 3 of 75. Late race restart with 10 to go. I'm not sure what to expect here tonight, although Monday was long, clean, green flag runs. I think we only had a couple of yellows in that race, but for the most part, everyone gets spaced out. They run their own lines. It's going to be definitely less chaotic than what we had in New Hampshire last week.
Yeah, absolutely. We had about 5 different lines at play. Don't have an apron that we can run on here. That got taken away in 1993. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in here. If you're on YouTube, thanks for tuning in to PTR TV. Like, share, comment, subscribe here. Let's light up the chat. Let's have some fun. And if you're watching there on the Twitch side, consider liking and following on the Area iRacing Twitch. And you can consider subscribing, catching all the action. If you subscribe, you'll get custom area emotes in the chat, or double points, and you can redeem them for free merchandise starting at just $5 a month if you're watching there on the Twitch side of things. But again, just kind of heading back to the layout and how this track races there, Hunter. We see in the real world there's a little bit of slipstream here. I don't know how much of it emulates so much in the simulator world, but we got arrow push and we got long straightaways, and it's really hard finding that balance to get the runs through the corner, get that downforce so you can turn through the center of these 4 separate turns.
Yeah, it's essentially a one-groove racetrack where you can run the bottom. Corner exit's going to be a challenge. Saw one car there just go into the outside wall. If you're trying to push on exit to propel yourself down the straightaways, because if you don't get off turn 2 or turn 4 well, you're going to be a sitting duck for those straightaways. They're about a mile long each, so you don't want to be in a bad spot where you're going to get passed by 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 guys at a time. It's all about how you arc the car into the corner. They're essentially the same. They are the same turns. It's 9 degrees for each turn, but it races completely different through 1 and 3. I've noticed throughout the week.
Yeah, then of course, over the course of a race here, we'll take a look at our weather as qualifying is just about to start things off. Another smoltery track temp there, upwards of 107 degrees with about just pushing 2 o'clock sim time. So we are at the hottest the track's get, and now actually we have just been hit by a massive solar flare as the track tip has gone up 20 degrees to 127. So I surely that's going to be a pretty big difference. You're going to have to calculate that grip change there, Hunter, from practice to Q, and you're not going to have as much to play with.
No, you're really not, and you want to get through the turns a little bit more cautiously. You don't want to eliminate your lap time by going into the wall. That's going to erase everything that you had, whether that be on the exit of 2 or the exit of 4, or even trying to roll through the middle of 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. As we're looking here, I think this is Mason Kane in the 31, or that might be Jeremy Miller.
Yeah, Jeremy Miller. Looks like he has a different paint scheme this week. Very, very busy paint scheme there. What has he got? Simrat Market. They were certainly busy making that. And yeah, that ain't. Oh yeah, he's going to light the rears. He's going to have to stop. And luckily it was before he crossed the stripe, so he should be able to reset and still get both of his laps in.
Yeah, he had a moment in the cup race on Monday where he spun coming out of turn 4 and almost hit the pit attenuator wall right off the exit of 4. Somehow he only got through with an unsafe pit exit because he was able to go inside the yellow cone and go back out before hitting the wall. So that was a scary moment there on Monday for Jeremy Miller. Hopefully he doesn't get deja vu of that tonight. But Matthew Bell going out to put a time down. Because it's a big track, there's not really much time to screw around with. We're already down to 3 minutes in qualifying.
Yeah, you'll get about 45-second outlap, 50-second outlap, and then 50 seconds. So you wait too long, circa 2008, the Auto Club race where nobody qualified. I can't remember what year that was, but a 53.71 will start us off here in single car qualifying. And then there goes Brady Wallman with a 9:02. These times will start coming in, and we know we have some big hitters that we're going to expect there. We got, Brad Slaughter. He's just exiting the pits. Who do we get? The 19. He's about to cross the stripe. Troy Edson. Oh, I guess not. Trying to find somebody who is about to complete a lap here.
I think 87's about to come across. Blaze McKinney. He won here in the past in the Cup Series, so looking to do the same in the Pro Series.
Here comes Jake Nichols coming off the corner here as Matt Bell still hanging on to that pole position preliminarily speaking. Let's take a look at where Mr. Nichols will fall. I was going to say that is super good lap, but not quite pole, but certainly a decent lap there. I think Reese Schaefer may have just crossed the stripe. 26. Jonathan Evans, he had a really good run in the truck race. Started up front, went to the back, and then found himself up towards the end. He'll finish with a 53.98. That'll put him 16th there on the score sheet.
Yeah, he ruffled up some feathers Monday night for a couple of guys, so looking to tone that down a bit. Forrest Smith coming through the 15. I don't think we have any DNQs, at least from what I've heard, unless there's any late callers. We might have a few, actually.
Ed Robertson just saying, nah, bro, he's just... actually, unless he already got both of his laps in there. Who else do we got? About to cross the stripe, the number 44, about to cross the stripe. That's Zach Nichols. He is P2 right now.
Lukomsky, I think he's still putting a time down.
That number 66, yep, coming through. Where is he at right now? Turn number 4. Nice straight run off the corner for that LVV Racing Toyota Supra. Let's see what he can muster. Matt Bell still hanging on to the pole, and he went pretty early in the session. Nope, that's going to be, oh my God, what did it say? Top of the board! No, what did they say? There was the PA at Indy has really something special to say whenever someone gets the pole, and it's in fury. The Indy radio guys, what did they say?
I forgot what they say. I was just thrown off seeing going from the pulsar to a random car upside down on the front stretch.
Okay,
I hope we don't see any of that tonight.
Yeah.
It was a brief second, maybe half second.
I know they used to say it's a new track record, but there's something that IMS radio says. Maybe someone in chat will say it for me. But Trey Edson, the 19, he still this is going to be right down to the whisker here.
I don't think we'll have enough time.
Shades of Auto Club in the mid 2000 teens. I think he got it. I mean, it's nothing to bask on, but it did count there at a 53.90.
Yeah, so looking through, I don't think Clampett put down a time. There were 4 other guys who didn't put down a time. So we have 45. There will be 2 guys going home. We'll have to double check on that as we await the warm-up period to succeed.
Yep, guys, we'll just get their last second. Actually, I don't even think they're under. I don't think that we were hoping at one point they would actually update your pit stall, so that way the warm-up could give you a good indication of where your stall is. I don't think it actually does that, so it's just basically a matter of just seeing if the track has changed at all, and let's see, because it changed 20 degrees from practice to qualifying, and it has gone down a little bit, 7 degrees. You can see a cloud has come over the speedway, and that'll certainly add a little bit of grip. If we go to our blimp cam, you can see the sun is off. So we're going to have some intermittent clouds, and that means some intermittent grip here.
Indeed, it's going to be fun seeing who can go from the front to the back, or from the back to the front, really. The winner here, average starting position, is around 10th. Cameron Hearn won from the 5th position in Season 4. Connor Yuroshak all the way back in 15th in Season 5. And then, I mentioned the yellows. We averaged about 4. We had 7 yellows in Season 5, so Season 4 went relatively green for the most part. The last yellow coming out with 10 to go, and then the last move being made to take the win away back Season 4, it was with 25 to go. Well, that was just a cycle with pit stops. Yuroshak, he had fresh tires late in the going, so he took the lead with 3 to go. And again, those were the only 3 laps led by him. So it really doesn't matter if you lead the most laps. You just got to be in the right place at the right time and possibly have a caution fall right into your laps.
Now you have to remember, speaking of cautions falling right in the laps, remember last week's race at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Zach Nichols, Sebastian Marin was just absolutely the class of the field. Caution came out at the right time, kind of changed the pit cycle, gave Zach Nichols the lead, and it nearly won him the race there. Sebastian was able to, make things happen at the very end, but just shows that cautions and how they affect the strategy certainly can come into play. But there's something about here at Indy, there, Hunter, in the bigger tracks. If you pit and you're in pit road and you're getting serviced and a caution comes out, as long as you're not too far off of the leader, you can stay on the lead lap, and that can actually flip-flop into a positive for you.
Yeah, that's one of the rare occurrences at this track. Pocono's the same way as well. I don't think we're going to Pocono this season, but it's also 2.5 miles. It's also long enough to where you can pit on the green flag conditions and still come out on the lead lap. And even one of the turns, the tunnel turn, is shaped after Indianapolis, but Indianapolis, we got 4 of these, so should be interesting. I'm also looking through. Forrest Smith and Trey Eitzen are the 2 D&Qs for this race, which initially looking at it, I thought it was Ben Pierce, which that would have been a shame, because Ben Pierce led 23 laps last season, 2 seasons ago at this track. Second most in the race. I think the most was led by James Scioli in the 7, but he failed to pick up the win. But getting to grid in time and going to do our pace laps and see what we got in store for us tonight.
Of course, letting in our starting lineup, as always, brought to you by Central Mobile Homes. Looking for a small or large home, a new shed or triple crown trailer? Look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 29 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plans, shed designs, and triple crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to centralmobilehomesinc.com for all of your information. But as we said, let's head down trackside for that starting lineup, and let's change things up here today. Hunter, how about you read us off the starting lineup?
Ooh, this is interesting. I don't usually do this. Okay, so the pole sitter and the late going, Dominic Lukomsky in the 66. He'll roll off on the front row. Alongside him, Matthew Bell in the 9. Row 2 is going to be Zach Nichols in the 44, and alongside him, Sebastian Marin will roll off 4th. Those 2 have been the class of the field so far this season. Jake Nichols looking to add a win to his name this season, rolling off 5th, and alongside him, John Furness in the 28, going to be P6. It's all 7s for Michael Venable. He'll start 7th in the 77 car, and alongside him is Matthew Bappy in the 71. And why not another 70 car? Andrew Payne going to roll off P9, and alongside him is Justin Opplinger in the 55 in P10.
All right, position number 11, you'll find Mr. Jeff Wright, and then Travis Beckner, always one to watch out for, rolling off in that 12th spot. Mr. David Weishart, a home state race for him. He'll be in 13th. Matt Kemp in the 14th position. 15th, we'll find Brady Wellman, and then Blaze McKinney, another Indiana native, in the 16th spot. 17th, we'll find James Scioli out of Washington, and part of the William Byron Hat Club there is Braxton DeWeese in 18th. 19th and 20 we'll find Nate Stewart, and then Mr. John Forbes Jr. in the 20th position.
In the 21st position, it'll be the 11 car of Philip Groner. Alongside him, the 2 of Greg Mitchell going to roll off 22nd. 23rd, it's Zach Kerr in the 12, and next to him will be Brody Falker in the number 1 for 24th. In 25th, it's Jonathan Evans in the 26 car. Alongside him, Jeremy Miller in the 30, going to roll off P26, and P27 will be Ed Shearer Jr. in the 6 car. Alongside him, it's Casey Lakatos in the 50, going to be P28. P29, it's Francis Hamilton for the 23 car, and in the 07 alongside him, it's Reese Schaefer, going to roll off 30th.
Got a bunch of EOLs here, guys, peeling off here. We got Daniel Day in 31st, Alan Fox in 32nd, Joseph Berg 33rd, and then Mr. Garrett Grant. He'll be another Indiana. We got a lot of Indy guys here in the race. 34th. 35th, we'll find the likes of Jimmy Conker, and then Justin Anasogak in 36th. Ed Robertson, Ben Pierce, Forrest Smith, and Brad Slaughter. And just to round out the last few, Mr. Clampett didn't take time. Edson is a DNQ, along with, I can't remember who else you said, but just to let the last couple scroll through there.
It was Forrest Smith as well. Forrest Smith and Trey Eidson were the DNQs, and now we get our pace lap in. It's going to be a long pace lap. It's usually longer whenever you're at a big racetrack like Indianapolis, but just gives these guys a time to rekindle and refocus before the task at hand. 75 laps here. We do have 4 sets of tires. Now, fuel might be interesting because I was looking through some of the guys in the Discord channels. They said that the fuel run was around 30, maybe 35 laps if they could push it. So we are looking at 75 laps in this race. There's a possibility someone, don't know where on the track, but they could stretch this out to a 1 pit stop race. Now, I don't know the benefits of that, but over the run, tire wear is huge because it goes away after about 15 laps or so, and turns are all the same, so it's going to be a challenge for these guys tonight.
Yeah, because we always claim we are not human calculators, but I do know, odd numbers are a little bit harder for me to calculate. 37 times 2 is 74. So 37 and a half, if they can go that far, theoretically. You save more fuel the longer the run goes, as, your car slows down as you lose tire grip and pace and all that fun stuff. So, but that would be all under the accolade that this goes green. And as you said, there may be an early race caution that opens up the door. Maybe you see a couple guys top off, and you just never know how these races will come into fruition. But everyone's getting sorted out. Our EOLs have EOL'd. And Dominic Lumonski in that number 66, getting ready to start things off and into that clean air into turn number 1.
Yeah, the EOLs were for Brody Falker, Zach Kerr, Travis Beckner, Daniel Day, and then Brady Wildman actually has a drive-through, so he'll be taking the pass-through penalty under green flag conditions, so he'll go a lap and then we'll serve that, but he'll still be on the lead lap because of how big this racetrack is, and who knows, maybe a quick yell could come out and he could just be bunched back up with the field.
Yeah, exactly that. As I said, he will not lose a lap in his endeavor. But I know I've already checked the track temp twice already, just as a third time. So it has gone up. I won't pull up the graphic because we only need one number off it, but the track temp has gone up to 122. So we have varied, but to summarize everything here, we are significantly less grip, significantly hotter track temp than we practiced with. So we'll see who can adjust to that. I do know, and this goes against everything that we know about Indianapolis there, Hunter. I've read on the official forums and, kind of kept up with some of the socials and whatnot. Apparently the outside at Indy on iRacing is a lot more competitive than it's supposed to be. I don't know if that's valid at all, but I guess we may be able to find out here in about a quarter of a lap.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to say the least. I'm also reminiscent about the tire wear difference just between the Cup car and the next gen and the Xfinity car here. So yeah, that's also going to be a handful for some of these guys who ran both Monday and tonight.
And exactly, I got to change the mindset here. We got thinner tires, we got less power, and a lot less downforce. So let's see what happens here in these Xfinity cars. The Florida State Builders Area Pro Series from the Brickyard. Barney's got to get it waving, and let's go racing here at Indy. Off into turn number 1. Pole shot goes to Dominic, and then we'll see what happens as everybody fights through and again gets single file, or in some cases side by side through the field here. Hopefully still green, everyone side by side, and just as I say that,
well, there's the quick yellow. Not sure where it happened. Oh, it's the 09 of Senesac. One of the Indiana natives in the field. He was one that got his race cut short Monday night from
happened
some
well ahead of him
tomfoolery.
here. We'll go on board. Who was that was in the grass? Someone got hit, is in the grass, and then he got turned. So a two-parter here. Let's at least figure out what happened fully to Senesac. He must have got turned by, that's Kerr. But I'm trying to figure out who that was.
Nate Stewart? Looked like Nate Stewart was the one sideways and off to the inside in turn 1.
We'll just try to sort things out here a little bit further up in the field.
This looked like an early domino effect.
Oh, 29,
domino effect.
Yeah, 29 slowed up, 29 to the 7. Nate Stewart doing the off-roading there, and did it quite successfully. And no damage there that I can see, so he'll just have to gain that track position back. He didn't really have much of it to start with, but he'll try to get it back.
Yeah, Senesac, just an innocent bystander and all that, got help from 2 cars. Got help from a first car, and then as he was sideways, got hit from another one. Now that's odd, because usually when you're in the back, that's not where the accidents tend to happen or anything. You're usually away from the danger zone, but unfortunate for him, he just had a little tap and spin and nothing more than that.
All right, we are just now catching up to the pace car because, again, we are, we're a simulator, but we are, there's nuances to what we do, and sometimes when there's super early caution flags, it throws off our lineup here, but I think everything's good. Dominic is just perhaps having a little fun with the pace car here, getting ahead, but we do have some takers to the pits all the way in the rear of the field. Perhaps that's topping, more than a few, quite a bit. There's Stewart. And really just about everybody, I'd say about 20th on back, the whole back end of the field, coming to the attention of their crews, and I'll be very, very curious to see. Nope, no jacks going up, obviously, just topping off with fuel. Again, proving that point we did earlier. Just opening the door for a one-stopper if possible.
Yeah, this would open up to about a 36 lap stint if you really wanted to stretch it. It would be it would be over halfway, really. But that would just eliminate the process of staying out, having to save fuel, and then worrying about reaching a certain distance rather than just coming in, topping off, and just going about it, because that'll put them at 72 laps left. Divide that by 2, it's 36. They can stretch it. Some guys have been able to stretch it to 33, 35 in the practice runs, but if they can stretch it to 36, they'd be in a good spot.
A little bit of hypermiling and clutching it. A track like Indy, you can really let it roll on corner entry, save fuel that way. Again, clutching it on in, it's just you kind of go back to those internal math conversations you have to have rolling in your head. All right, if I'm going to slow down a second a lap trying to save fuel, I'm already losing tire grip, I'm losing time that way. Is me saving going to lose more time than I would to go full bore and make the pit stop? Again, these are math equations that I'm glad I don't have to make, but we'll see how things shape out here. We should get 1 to green here. Usually these larger tracks have a quick caution cycle, so we'll get doubled up, stacked up, ready to go back racing. And again, just another point, Sebastian Marin, I mean, he's in 5th, which isn't great, but that's far back for Sebastian Marin's standards, so we'll see if he can make some headway on this restart as they're topping off again in the back.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. I mean, it is a long pace lap here, so might as well, rather than just continue to burn fuel. Every lap makes an important difference, so we'll see about that. I don't think there are any incident points for that last wreck. Yeah, they're just calling that a racing incident, so no harm, no foul there. Cannot be said for one driver, Michael Mohammed. He's on a suspension because of last week's events at, I almost said Indianapolis. It was at the track in New Hampshire. So he's got 8 incident points on the season. Now, for those wondering at home about wreck score and how that's all determined, there are certain layers to receiving point penalties. It goes from 0 points, which you're doing a good job, you're keeping a clean car, and all the way up to 9 points, which is a disqualification for the remainder of the season. So Michael Muhammad is at 8 points already. So goodness. He's in a bad spot right now. So he is suspended until next week. Looking through, he had 1 incident point at Daytona, 2 at the track at Homestead, and then he had 5 at New Hampshire. So he's got a whopping 8 on the season. Now, he'll have an EOL for the next 5 races whenever he gets back in the drive-through for the next 3 or so. And that's if he keeps it clean, because the more races you have with 0 points, your incident points go down. So if he can keep it clean for a good period of time, he won't have to be disqualified for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, so essentially as you get cleaner and more time elapses, that's the wounds kind of heal themselves, so to speak. So he'll try to do that, but right on the edge of failure there. He doesn't want that, but either way, we'll see what happens to him in due course here as we come onto the front straightaway into the restart zone. And we'll try this once more. We only got about half a lap in. Let's see if we can get a little bit more action this time by as the green flag's in the air. We'll all get situated into turn number 1.
Already seeing big dividends to being the leader, going whenever you can go. It's about 2 to 3 car lengths now separating Lukomsky and the 9 of Matthew Bell. And these turns you don't really want to be side by side through, but like you said, some guys trying to make that outside lane work. Bappy over Venable down the back.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of snaking later in the race. Again, a fair amount of slipstream. Somebody goes 3 wide. I think that's Jeff Wright in the Pepsi car. Yes, 3 wide indeed. Payne in the middle, all the way to the top of the track, finds Opplinger, and they will stifle themselves down to 2 wide here. So that move did work out for Wright. A little bit risky, but sometimes that's what you have to do. So here at Indy, it gets harder and harder to pass as the run continues. You got to get them while they're all bunched together. That's also where the biggest risk is, as we have 3 drivers back in the field, all coming to the pits. Penalties of some sort, I imagine.
Slaughter, Senesac, they're coming in as well. There's another guy down there. I'm not sure who that was. I think it's Weileman.
Yes, indeed.
Weileman was serving his drive-through, but...
Oh, yeah, he couldn't serve it. Because the race he didn't actually have an opportunity under green, so yeah, that must be his initial race penalty.
Yeah, didn't have enough time. They were in turn 1 when the wreck happened, so almost jumped the gun there with that early yellow. If it happened a lap later, it would have been more useful for him. Meanwhile, going into turn 3, it's a tight contest right here with that is the 7 of Skyley, the 12 of Zach Kerr, trying to jump up on the racetrack with Ed Shearer Jr. This is right in the 15 to 20 range. Yeah, middle to mid-20s.
And up front, here we go. Battle for the lead. Dominic has it. Matthew Bell wants it down to the inside. How much of a battle will the 66 put up? 0. But early in the race, that's the racer's move to make and really wash up. Both of them kind of missed the apex there through turn 1, but rode it down enough to make the corner. And looks like Bell might have a little bit of a different line here. He's doing a little bit later of an entry and maybe trying to straighten that exit a little bit more, give him some speed down these 5/8 mile straightaways.
Could be the 66 just taking care of his stuff early on. I mean, it is lap 7. They had some yellow laps, so don't want to push the envelope too soon. And as soon as I say that, he had a nice run there, going to back off. But behind him, Zach Nichols, an even greater run. And just look at the different lines. Even though this is a one-groove track, the 66 having a different approach through turn 4 there than the 9 of Matthew Bell. But, of course, Bell will lead this time through. And Zach Nichols just eyeballing them up going into 1.
Side by side, a little ways back, we have Marin and Nichols. Talked about Marin in 5th. Well, scratch that. Now he is up to 4th spot, getting by that 73. 73 looks like there's a little bit different paint scheme here, a little bit more magenta instead of metallic magenta. Something that's really shining under this Indianapolis sun. Looks pretty nice there in that paint scheme. Let's go back and find some more good racing. I see some 3 wide once more. That's Kemp, Matt Kemp down to the bottom, Senesac in the middle, and Opplinger, he has been in the middle of 3 wide a lot today, and he will get out of 3 wide and be just in front of Kemp.
Yeah, this is 11th and 12th on the racetrack, and Senesac he is a lap down, so he's just fighting to stay the first car 1 lap down. So when that does happen, he'll get his lap back and be back on the lead lap. So in the middle of some battles right now, and they're still going 3 wide, trying to work their way around the 09.
That's
Even
Forbes.
in the back, they're starting to shuffle out.
Yeah, Forbes in that 17, and Senesac again. Oh, Senesac pushed to the 50 of Casey there. Casey goes high and wide, makes the corner. Well, just as I say that, hits the wall, hits the safer barrier. We're still not done. I'm not calling this clean yet. Garrett Grant trying to recover as well. Casey Lakatos.
Wow, this is a mess coming out of turn 2. I'm not sure if Garrett Grant knew what was going on there. I think he was trying to show displeasure with the 50, or he was just that misaligned with going through the corner, but we almost had a multi-car wreck here.
Yeah, you can see that contact. And then Lakatos here is just up and trying to save it into the safer barrier there right off the exit of 2. Senesac doesn't know where to go. And then Garrett Grant, again, he's just, he was just out of whack with his corner entry there, and ultimately able to continue on, and maybe a little bit of damage to be set here and there. But Bell has the lead. Lemowski in second, Nichols in third, Marin fourth. Looks like we have spaced ourselves out and kind of getting some rhythm to this race here.
Just trying to take care of the stuff early on, at least up front. In the back, they were shuffling all over the place.
Oh,
but
caution.
Well, I think we know where the wreck happened.
Oh, 61. I mean, he didn't do anything. Actually, I guess he kind of did, but I don't know if any of it's related, but we'll find out. Let's see.
Daniel Day in the 61. Not sure if there's tomfoolery going on up ahead.
Oh, no. Senesac into the wall, and innocent bystander there.
65 was caught up in it as well, Ben Pierce, but just unfortunate for Bryce to be caught up in the first 2 yellows. Seemed like he had a handful trying to just run his line after coming out pit road. Not sure if there was damage from that first wreck that hindered his performance at all, but not a good day for that 09.
Brody Fallicker there also had some bad luck. Get one more look at this here. On board with Brody. So watch that bright green car to the outside. Just absolutely nowhere to go.
You know what? He was following the tire tracks of Garrett Grant, and Garrett Grant. That's a tough name to say. He brushed off the wall in turn 1, and like I mentioned, Senesac was just following his line. He bounced off the wall more because Grant got through fine. Bryce was trying to go up a little bit higher and bounced off that wall, and that's what created that carnage.
Now, Indianapolis, a track that on iRacing, this used to be a problem across the board, but it's been updated. But this is actually realistic here at Indy. You can see on the top of the shot, I don't have my telestrator on right now, but you can see how the safer barrier tapers down, and then it goes into concrete, and then it tapers back in for the start of turn 4. And that's what actually got Bryce in that bad position. He exited the corner a little bit too early, and his car got stuck on that tapered section, and that's what kind of did. You do have to watch out for there here at Indy, the way that safer wall does come into play. But either way, everybody coming to the attention of their crew. I guess the interesting part will be, are we going to see some good years, or are we just topping off?
We're long enough into a run where we could possibly change tires. I mean, going to be another 30 plus laps if we stay green. Tire wear is going to be a bit of a concern at that point if you have 40 plus year old or 40 plus lap old tires, I should say.
We're both off today, I feel like. But
it's just one of those days, but I would expect at least 2 tires. If anyone's going to try and do some tomfoolery, they could try 2 tires and see if that works now, and they could put that in the memory bank for later on.
Yep, 4 tires indeed, and that is Rafe Slate there. He is... we are sharing pit stalls here at Indianapolis. So he did have the #1 stall, but it wasn't to his sole benefit there. Did have to share it. But Bell will exit the pits. We'll see on the pit graphic here if there's any interesting endeavors at play. And you can see there, look at number 6.
Yeah, he definitely
did something. 6
is that
seconds.
Quick enough to take 2?
I don't think so. I mean, we have no way to know. Actually, you know what? Let's just figure out, shall we? I usually don't do this, but we'll do it in this instance because we got some time to play with. Let's see. Nope.
No, just gas and go.
So that,
all right, interesting there.
That leaves him with 4 sets of Goodyears in the pits. So, I mean, this is, I don't want to call this a short race because it's not, but Indianapolis isn't usually one of those tracks that you just scream tire wear because the track position element is so important here. So, with 4 sets, maybe he knows something we don't know, but we'll see how that works out. Gains him track position up to the 6th spot. We weren't really paying too much attention to the fall off between the best lap and the last lap, so we'll see how that does shake out here. But I do want to get into a little bit of our league stuff here. Our sponsors here on the day, Hendry County Motorsports Park. They are our replay sponsor that you'll see as we watch those replays. Racing is back at Hendry County. You can join them on Saturday, April 5th, 2 days from now if you're watching this live, to see Top Gun sprints, factory stocks, and more. Tickets are $20 for adults, and kids age 5 and under are free. You can bring the family to the track with a track pack for 4 for $25. The southernmost dirt track in America in Clewiston, Florida, right off US Highway 27, HenryCounty.com. Again, our replay sponsor here in area.
And the flagman for that racetrack, Travis Beckner, back in the 26th position, just came out of pit road, so still too early to tell what his car is going to be for the day, but would expect him to make some ground up towards the front as I'm looking through. Some guys that lost big time spots on pit road. Jake Nichols was a big time gainer. He moved up to 3rd. Matthew Bappy 4th. Sebastian Marin fell down to 9th on that pit stop. Then got taken account to the 6th of Shear with the gas and go, moving up inside the top 10. Matt Kemp, another one, moved up a couple of spots. Jeff Wright, 12th. Andrew Payne down to 13th. Opplinger down to 14th. Lots of interesting names here being shuffled around in the early going.
And you can see there on the graphic, just bringing it up one more time, 15 seconds for Marin. Most everybody else in the top 10 was mid to low 14s. Of course, you have the outlier with Scherer there. So the pit crew not doing their job. Indy is a difficult pit lane for the driver as well because of the fact that it is so narrow. It is very, very difficult with a full pit lane to, get into your box and exit with a high rate of speed because you are constantly on defense getting into your pits and getting out of your pits. Most of these guys don't have live spotters, so you're solely looking in those mirrors and trying to be safe on a very, very narrow pit confine here. But Matthew Bell, for the first time today, he will be the control car on this restart, and we will head into the Geico soon-to-be Echo Park restart zone. And we'll try this once more to take lap number 14 on the loud pedal, and let's see what happens.
Ooh, a lot of guys shuffling around. Yeah, this is not looking good. 3 wide into turn 1. There's not much room for 2 wide, let alone 3. They can back off and make it work. They're doing that for the most part, but still double file for a majority of the field. And one car going really high. That's the 6th of Shearer. Mentioned fuel only, so he's going to drop to the rear. Meanwhile, coming up for the lead, Jake Nichols had a peek to the inside. He'll have an even greater look going into turn 3.
Here he is down to the inside, has the preferred lane, and early in the race, smart racer Matt Bell. He's been around the block quite a long time here in this iRacing service and knows, all right, lap 14, not ready to go for it yet. Speaking of going for it, we have the Haviland ride of John Furness to the inside of Batby there, and then Jeff Wright, he wasn't afraid to go 3 wide earlier. He'll get a little bit of slipstream. He's going to give some draft down to Furness to the inside, trying to help that pass along into turn number 1.
Yeah, Jeff Wright in the 48 looking to make up some spots in the points. I didn't have a good start to the season, but looking through, he is 20th in points, so he's looking to make up some ground here today. Right on the edge of a top 5, so solid work for him so far, and it's still Nichols leading through. Haven't talked about the snake method yet. Some of these guys, we haven't seen it too often, but we'll see guys swerving up and down the straightaways, just trying to break off the draft from the car behind, getting closer to him.
Yeah, exactly that. Kind of reminiscent of the Indy 500, and of course those Indy cars here, they have their draft effect is much more drastic there, just the way that those cars are built, and of course the speeds that they reach. But not to say that these Xfinity cars can't get some good draft. Of course, in the real world, I think that they still run that ridiculous super speedway package here, which exemplifies it even that much more. But here we kind of have the more normal intermediate package. Still get some slipstream, but nothing that will emulate Daytona at all. But side by side here, Marin to the inside of Blaze McKinney here. And if you are curious about the 6, he has already gone back to the 13th spot. Ed Shearer has.
Holding his own for now, but was a gamble worth taking, and I don't think he'll take it again in the late going, unless he wants to lose more positions then. But early to experiment right here in the 9th region, there was there was Marin in the 24th. Sebastian Marin moved up to 9th. Down to 10th was Blaze McKinney. And he's got Michael Venable looking behind him, and Justin Opplinger as well, 10th, 11th, 12th on the track.
Guy we haven't spoke of here today, which is hard to believe, is going to be that number 42 of Logan Clamp. It did not qualify and has gotten himself over halfway up through the field, up to the 16th spot in that Wounded Warrior Project number 42 with Tiltify on the quarter panel there. He's now looking to the inside, just past Forbes, and now he is looking for blood underneath Ed Shearer. And of course, Shearer is just on that alternate strategy all the way out in Wonderland there, the 3rd lane on those older tires. But move Clamp it up to 15. Certainly watch out for him. Not too far back, only 3.5 seconds off the lead, even though he's back in 15th.
Yeah, Michael Venable is or not Venable, sorry. Matthew Pappy is the lead car for Lucky Ducks, and that's the team Clampet's a part of, along with Michael Venable. So he's trying to catch up with his teammate running in the 5th spot, but it's a gaggle of cars from John Furness on back, a lot of single file until you get right around here where the 6 of Shearer still door to door with Zach Kerr in the 12th car looking through on the racetrack. It's right around the 18th position, so a lot going on there for him.
And I'm not sure if I've ever used this very corny pun here on an area broadcast, but Ed Shearer, he is in Alicia Keys mode because he keeps on falling as he is on those old tires. Now back to 22nd. He is about to be last, but we'll see if this works out for him. Maybe waiting for that halfway pit stop, or waiting for another caution. We'll see how